Okay, everybody, so today we're going to be doing a video on the a comparison between the Yugoslavian M59 and M59/66 SKSs. So we're going to be showing off the differences between these, showing if they have any accuracy differences, and just showing off and telling you about them. So the history with the SKS and Yugoslavia is that Russia had been selling the designs to the Warsaw Pact countries, and which Yugoslavia was not a Warsaw Pact country. But they were a communist country, and they'd been selling the designs to the other countries like Romania, and they had sold it to Poland, but then Poland stopped tooling up for SKSs before they produced any. So by 1959, no one was really interested in the SKS anymore, so they basically gave away the design for the SKS to Yugoslavia, whereas they'd been selling it to the other countries. And these rifles function just the same as any other SKS. This one has some slight differences, but this one is basically a clone of the Russian SKS. And these M59s would be produced from 1961 to 1967, and then these would be produced, the M59/66s, from 1967 to 1989. And this rifle of ours was probably produced around 1962, 63, somewhere around there. And then this one was actually produced in 1979. And these rifles would see use and service in Yugoslavia till the country basically broke apart and broke into all the countries in the Balkans. And these are still in use in some countries today, like they'll be in guard use in Serbia and police use. And yeah, these rifles are still in service in places today. They're very reliable, accurate, and yeah, that's pretty much the history of them. And now we'll get into the differences between these two. Okay, so now we're going to look at a comparison between these two rifles, and we're going to start out with our M59 here. So we'll start out over here at the front. The front end is just the same as a Russian SKS or one of those other ones, and the barrels will not be chrome lined on these. And the bayonet deploys just the same as on the Russian SKSs. So it snaps forward. Your bayonet has a muzzle ring and then the actual lug right here. Closes just the same. Has a cleaning rod, retained the same way as the Russian will be. So then the rear sight was actually different a little bit. The cutout right here in the back of the rear sight is a little bit deeper than on the Russians. And also, the M59 has a leather sling on it. I believe the reason they had that is because they were using leather slings on their M48 Mausers. So then, on this, you can see it here, the stripper clip guide is just as it would be on the Russian SKSs or any of the others. That'll go forward. And then they have trap doors in the butt plates, just the same as Russian SKSs. And the wood that was used for these rifles would be birch wood and walnut on the M59s. And yeah, that's pretty much your M59. Now I'll show off the differences with the 59/66. So the M59/66, if you come to the front end, it has a grenade launching spigot that was designed to have anti-tank and anti-infantry grenades. And then we'll have night sights on the M59/66. And also over here at the front end is your grenade launching sight. On the AK on the M70 AKs, just flipping up your sight will cut off your gas, but you actually have to use this button right here. That cuts off your gas. So in this position, the gas is cut off. And then to fold your, put it back down, you just push it down. It isn't retained in place at all. And then the sling on these will be a green cloth sling, and it's got these this on it to attach it. Little extension there. And you can see the rear sight on this one is different, a little bit chrome looking almost. And then you have your night sights back here, your rear ones. And then on the M5966, your stripper clip guide will actually be different than on the any of the other SKSs. It's cut out so you can reach your finger under and flip up your night sights, which does make it a little bit more rattly as far as retaining your stripper clip while you're loading it. And then over here at the end, we've got a rubber butt pad here that was for when you're launching rifle grenades. And then you still have a trap door in here, which it's a bit easier to get your finger stuck in there with the rubber butt pad on it. And the wood for the 5966 would largely be elm wood. That's what was largely used for these. And yeah, that's pretty much all we can say about them, besides the production figures, which the production of this was around 200,000 made, and then it was 52,000 for the M59 made. And yeah, that's going to be it, so let's get into shooting them some. Alright, we're going to start off with 10 rounds out of the M59. And the ammo we're shooting isn't the ammo we zeroed the rifles with, so the impact is going to be a bit off. And we're going to be shooting at 100 yards. That's all 10. Okay, this is our first group, and it's a pretty good group besides this one flyer over here, but pretty good all around. Alright, so now we're going to fire 10 out of the M5966. And one more thing about this one is the bayonet will actually be longer on these than any other SKS. And the attachment method is slightly different because there's no muzzle ring. So, now we'll load in our clip. And the stripper clip guide is not as good on this one. I'll arrange that so we don't get any jamming up. There we go. It's fairly easy to get jammed up on this stripper clip guide. That's all 10. Okay, and this is our group with the 5966, and it's a bit wider of a group, but still fairly good as far as SKSs go. And yeah, that's the group. Okay, so that's going to be it for the video. We had a lot of fun with the Yugoslavian SKSs. And these are an interesting, unique variation of the SKS. Have their own interesting differences. And as far as which one would be better out of the two, I'd probably say, just as far as use, if you're not having to shoot a tank, the M59 is probably the better out of the two of them. Being that it's a little bit lighter weight and seems to be ever so slightly more accurate, but that could have just been me. And the Yugoslavian SKSs are interesting since none of them were chrome lined, which that's disagreed upon as to why. Some people will say that they didn't have a lot of chromium. Other people will say that they didn't chrome line them for improved accuracy, and other than that, people will say it was a cost-saving measure. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. If you want to see any more out of the Yugoslavian or any of our other SKS rifles, let us know in the comments. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Catch y'all in the next one.